Hey, Kai Lan, who agreed to let Lai Hanqing replace you, fearing Kai Lanchen. He blocked Lai Hanqing on the stairs. She unleashed a torrent of insults, as if the president's position was hers, then turned around to confront Tsai Lan, who, diving in like a political superhero. Lai Hanqing got a headache, realizing he fell into a trap. Changda then showed Jin Yunfan's letter, pledging to support him as party leader if nominated president. However, Lai Hanqing refused. He wouldn't be fooled twice by a nobody. The second round started, and Changda still lacked the courage to decide. He decided to wait until the announcement was over before entering the venue, standing there among the crowd, feeling like he was in a political reality show. At that point, Jin Yunfan's burden lifted. Lai Hanqing accepted it. Jin Yunfan was elected smoothly. Next, Jin Yunfan gave a hilarious speech, and when Changda saw him, he couldn't help but think, this guy really knows how to play. Embracing Yurongyan and Jin Yunfan for a long time, Changda fulfilled his wish, standing front and center, replacing Pei Don's secretary during Jin Yunfan's US visit, becoming his deputy. But good times were short. Jin Yunfan learned of presidential rivalry, launched a pawn-mailing policy, turning his North Korean captivity into a joke. He even got sidelined pursuing trivial desires, accused of colluding with North Korea, a hidden political game. In reality, there were individuals keeping a close eye on the situation all along. If Jin Yunfan were indeed elected, the entire nation of Korea might fall into the hands of North Korea. However, through a series of underhanded tactics, Changda ultimately managed to make Jin Yunfan utterly disappointed in him. Such warnings were basically a taboo, yet President Jin Yunfan had no intentions of following that. The principle in those dictator countries is like the CAC. I will absolutely not rely on that to end my political career. At this moment, everyone realized President Jin Yunfan's confidence was towering like a mountain, and we also needed such news. Changda was particularly skilled at shady dealings. Similarly, using conspiracy to make opponents feel threatened isn't at all consistent with Jin Yunfan's straightforward style. If you want to put on a show, you should go to the Entertainment Bureau. Why do it here? That's why Jin Yunfan snatched Changda's security detail chance. When Jin Yunfan arrived in the US, his home exploded. Thankfully, no one hurt. Hearing the news, Changda felt consequences lurking around, pointing the finger at the CIA. This was his golden opportunity. However, before sending the article, Jin Yunfan captured Changda, imprisoned in a police station, and returned home. His subordinates began to suspect Changda's involvement. However, Changda had been his comrade from the start, and he couldn't just stand. At that moment, his wife stepped forward to support Jin Yunfan. Unexpectedly, Changda was quickly released without charges. The individual who saved him today was specially dispatched by the president, and at this very moment, Changda was finally free again. After embracing Jin Yunfan, they found themselves unable to face each other honestly and sincerely. This time, there was absolutely no option to choose a different path. When the president's choice represents the party's stance, doesn't it imply that I deserve to be in this position? Why do you perceive this position as reserved for me? Should my qualifications and abilities not also align with this position? What capital separates this position from others, and is he sitting there because of your desires? You must not forget your roots, otherwise, you can't possibly continue to remain in this position. Jin Yunfan understood that Changda wasn't ready. A person like him shouldn't be involved in politics. He resorted to any means to achieve his goals, and now he was being honest with himself. But you know what? The teacher also made decisions to win. That is precisely how I came to understand it. At this moment, Jin Yunfan raised a question that dropped Changda's heart into an abyss. When the explosion happened, his mother and daughter were at home. Your mother was at home. Did you accomplish it by yourself? Yes, it was me who did it. I only know how skilled I am at handling things like this. Our conscience tells us we must move forward elegantly. No, absolutely not way. This reflects the pain of politics and the division between North and South, hence the sensitivity to such events. They've grown weary of East-West tension. Secretary Park saw it in Jin and Zhang. Because he guessed this was Changda's strategy, but Jin Yunfan brushed it off, resulting in his guaranteed defeat in the elections, while leaving others heartbroken. Jin Yunfan still hadn't realized his democratic dreams. On the surface, he lost due to circumstances, but behind it lay the shadow of involvement. With the election results, the president generously promised to give, but Changda had already lost his worldly aspirations, now focused solely on the truth behind the explosion event. At this moment, Changda already had an answer in his heart, though he still needed a little time to confirm it. He wouldn't get tangled in this. Perhaps never in his life would he witness democracy freeing the country from a dictator. There was once a possibility, yet it was shattered by his own hands. But within Changda's heart, there still lingers a faint hope for the arrival of that day, even though it seems far-fetched now. In Seoul, 1988, a group of men finally reunite 17 years later. After years, a glance mended their rift. Changda always watched Jin Yunfan's strategies, had faced kidnapping, death sentence, narrowly escaping. He participated again, but lost, while the current president had long caught Changda's schemes. Even before the election, he planned to bring Changda back, but was rejected, as Changda fully aware. He still hoped for the power of change to come from Yunfan, even if he wasn't as spirited as before. Changda had no intention of changing his mind, that's being his consistent style. He was by my side, constantly by my side, forever by my side. Subscribe to our channel for latest updates.